And it said I was going to be rich no matter how much it cost, and I was going to win no matter how much I lost.
That smile, those curves, that hair. For 5 decades, Dolly Parton has been America's sweetheart. The backwoods Barbie who conquered Nashville and Hollywood with talent and charm. But what if the glittering surface hides a much darker truth? Behind that megawatt smile lies a woman who's weathered devastating betrayals and kept receipts on every knife in her sequined back. While Dolly plays the forgiving saint publicly, cracks have appeared in her carefully crafted image. Telling silences, strategic career moves that speak volumes. The feuds Dolly never acknowledged, like when Porter Wagoner sued her for millions after she left his show. The partnerships that crumbled behind closed doors, including tensions with Linda Ronstadt and Emmylou Harris during their trio recordings. The younger stars who dismissed her legacy, only to discover Dolly's memory is razor sharp. From the lawsuit that nearly destroyed her, to the complicated godmother relationship with Miley Cyrus that few truly understand, from clashes with music legends to the indie rocker who dared dismiss her masterpiece. These aren't rumours, these are documented moments when country's kindest icon showed that beneath the butterflies beats the heart of a woman who doesn't forget, even when she appears to forgive. What you'll discover about Dolly's strategic brilliance reveals a business genius hiding behind that warm smile. She especially showed this when she handled being erased from her own song. The real Dolly isn't just about love, she's about survival, strategy, and letting enemies underestimate her. Until it's too late. Stay with us as we begin with the complex relationship between Dolly and her famous goddaughter Miley Cyrus. A bond tested by controversy, career choices, and the harsh spotlight of fame. Number 1. Miley Cyrus. Blood might be thicker than water, but what happens when your goddaughter becomes America's most controversial pop star? Dolly Parton and Miley Cyrus shared a special bond before fame. But when Hannah Montana became a twerking provocateur, their relationship faced challenges. Publicly, Dolly stayed supportive. She's just trying to find her wings. Behind closed doors, a different story unfolded. Dolly was stunned by the VMAs, revealed a former assistant. Their phone call left Miley in tears. Insiders say Dolly worried Miley's talent was being overshadowed. They're so busy looking at your body, they've stopped listening to your voice. Tension peaked during bangers, when Dolly declined stage invitations. Nashville whispers suggested a quiet protest against Miley's circus act. Yet, Dolly never publicly criticized her goddaughter, deflecting with humor. It's not my place to tell Miley what to do. Lord knows I've done shocking things myself. By 2020, everything changed. Miley returned to her country roots, and Dolly reappeared for duets. A producer explained, Dolly never abandoned Miley, but didn't enable her either. She knew when to step in and when to step back. In 2022, Dolly admitted, I worried about her. Not because she was wild, I've been wild too, but because I saw the pain behind it. That shared understanding ultimately strengthened their bond. Two misunderstood women navigating fame on their terms. But while Dolly and Miley found peace, not everyone in Dolly's world was so lucky. When a young country star questioned her relevance, Dolly's response proved her memory is as sharp as her songwriting. Number 2, the unnamed star who called Dolly irrelevant. Nashville, 2012. During an industry roundtable hosted by Country Music Television before the annual CMA Festival, a simple question sparked controversy. Which legacy artists still influence your sound? After mentions of Cash, Haggard and Jones, a cocky platinum-selling artist under 30 declared, not Dolly Parton. She hasn't mattered to country radio in 20 years. The room froze. No one challenged him. Their silence seemed to validate his dismissal of a legend. It showed a total lack of respect for country music history, noted veteran music journalist Robert K. Ehrman. He later referenced the incident in his column without naming names. especially coming from someone who benefited from the doors Dolly opened. Within hours, whispers filled Music Row. Dolly's team heard about it, but she offered no public response. 6 months later came her real answer. When the star invited her to duet at his career-defining Nashville arena show, her reply was swift. Ms. Parton respectfully declines. His team tried again with more money. The answer remained unchanged. She doesn't forget, a Nashville producer told Billboard. She doesn't need to scream or fight. She just remembers. The artist's identity remains country music's best-kept secret. Some say he's still successful. Others claim his career mysteriously stalled. Nashville insiders won't name him, but they'll tell you nobody calls Dolly irrelevant anymore. Today, Hall of Fame guides linger at Dolly's exhibit longer than others. This incident echoes what happened with Miley, another case where Dolly let actions speak louder than words. And while she handled this young star with quiet dignity, her most challenging collaborations came from those she considered friends. Number 3, Linda Ronstadt and Emmylou Harris. They were the ultimate supergroup before the term existed. 3 voices that defined an era: Dolly Parton, Linda Ronstadt, and Emmylou Harris, whose perfect harmony masked creative chaos. Their informal jam sessions in the late 1970s revealed undeniable chemistry, but getting them in one studio proved nearly impossible. We tried for almost a decade, an Asylum Records insider revealed. Something always collapsed. Beyond scheduling nightmares came clashing visions. Linda demanded countless retakes. Emmylou fought commercialization, while Dolly juggled her expanding multimedia empire. 3 different women, 3 different visions, noted a Nashville producer. The project almost imploded in 1985 during a heated argument over song selection. Dolly wanted more traditional country sounds, Linda pushed for pop arrangements, and Emmylou stood firm on acoustic purity. Voices raised, tears flowed, and someone stormed out. Dolly reportedly played crucial peacemaker. When Trio finally released in 1987 after years of delays, it won Grammys and went platinum. Yet the follow-up took another decade, and their 3rd album sat shelved until 2016. Emmylou later admitted to Rolling Stone, "We all had strong opinions about the music. Sometimes that meant long days in the studio before we found common ground." Dolly herself added, "We're all strong women with strong ideas. Sometimes that's a blessing, and sometimes it's challenging." This dream collaboration became a brilliant but brief flash. Legends colliding with powerful personalities. But if working with friends proved difficult, dealing with outright betrayal was something else entirely. The creative tensions with Linda and Emmylou were nothing compared to the lawsuit that nearly broke Dolly's spirit, because the man who discovered Dolly would soon become her biggest nightmare. Number 4, Porter Wagoner. She called him her musical father. He called her his discovery. Behind the rhinestones and matching outfits, a storm was brewing that would destroy country music's most iconic partnership. When Dolly joined Porter Wagoner's show in 1967, she was just 21. Porter gave her something invaluable: a platform. Millions watched their weekly duets climb the charts. "He taught me so much," Dolly admitted, "but also what I didn't want to become." Backstage, Porter's charm masked his control issues. As Dolly's star rose, his grip tightened. He dictated her songs, image, and career choices. By 1973, with Jolene climbing charts, Dolly knew she had to leave. When she told Porter, he exploded, "You'll never amount to anything without me." Her response? Writing, "I will always love you," as a goodbye letter. But Porter wanted revenge. In 1979, 5 years later, he sued Dolly for $12 million in today's money. He demanded a share of her future earnings. The lawsuit devastated her. "It nearly broke me spiritually," Dolly confessed. "I couldn't understand how someone who claimed to care could try to destroy everything." While her career soared, Dolly fought for financial freedom. She eventually settled for $1 million she had to borrow against future earnings. Female artists learned crucial lessons. Keep your publishing rights and never let anyone own your talent. Despite everything, Dolly visited Porter on his deathbed in 2007. "I forgave him," she said, "but I learned my lesson." And that lesson would serve her well when another music legend tried to claim what was rightfully hers. Number 5. Jeff Tweedy. In one careless interview moment, Wilco's Jeff Tweedy named "I Will Always Love You" when asked about songs that didn't emotionally connect with him. The backlash was immediate. This wasn't just any song. It was Dolly Parton's masterpiece that Whitney Houston had made iconic, a soundtrack to countless life-changing moments. Dolly's fans expressed their fury online, sharing personal stories about the song's impact. The audacity to dismiss a song that's comforted millions just because you don't get it, one tweet went viral. Even indie rock fans seemed embarrassed by Tweedy's comment. Through it all, Dolly remained silent. She didn't need to speak. In the aftermath, Tweedy's next project landed with a thud, lukewarm reviews and disappointing sales. Industry insiders whispered, "Never underestimate Dolly's reach. Her fans have long memories." What truly stung wasn't just criticizing a beloved song. It was dismissing the emotional truth of a woman who'd fought for artistic legitimacy in an industry that initially saw her as just a pretty face. His comment revealed the snobbery alternative artists sometimes direct toward country music, especially women's contributions. Dolly's silence spoke volumes, but this wasn't the first time someone had underestimated her. Long before Tweedy, others learned the hard way that beneath those rhinestones was a will of steel, including the very people she once called friends. Number 6. Whitney Houston. It was 1992. The Bodyguard premiered, and Whitney Houston's version of "I Will Always Love You" captivated the world. That opening a cappella note brought people to tears across genres worldwide. But as Whitney's version soared, people forgot Dolly wrote those lyrics. "I overheard someone say, 'Whitney's song is so beautiful,'" recalled a music executive. When their friend mentioned Dolly Parton wrote it, they laughed. This wasn't isolated. For years, Dolly watched her creation become associated with someone else. Music journalists and award shows celebrated it without acknowledging its origins. Much like Jeff Tweedy's dismissal of her songwriting, this situation could have bred resentment. Dolly had already faced decades of people underestimating her talents because of her appearance. Now, her greatest composition was being attributed to someone else. Yet, publicly, Dolly showed only grace. "I was driving when I first heard it and had to pull over. It was overwhelming." Behind that smile was business savvy. When Kevin Costner approached about buying publishing rights, Dolly declined, a decision worth millions. She earned an estimated $10 million in royalties from Whitney's version, investing in a black Nashville community. "I bought my big office complex down in Nashville," Dolly later revealed. Those close suggest this wasn't a feud, but a masterclass in how to handle success with dignity. Rather than publicly fighting for credit, Dolly let the business numbers speak for themselves. Dolly never complained, noted a former record executive, but she made absolutely sure everyone knew who wrote that song, mentioning it casually in interviews. When Whitney passed in 2012, Dolly's tribute was genuinely heartfelt. This pattern of strategic responses to challenges defines Dolly's career. From Porter's lawsuit to industry dismissals to credit disputes, she developed a formula. Stay publicly gracious while making brilliant behind-the-scenes moves. It's this combination of warmth and steel that makes her not just a country legend, but an American icon. The art of strategic silence. Dolly's true power lies in her strategic brilliance. Each story we've shared reveals a different facet of Dolly's genius, not just as an artist, but as a master of human psychology. When Porter Wagoner sued her, she paid the settlement and moved forward. When a young star called her irrelevant, she simply declined his invitation. When Jeff Tweedy dismissed her masterpiece, she watched silently as fans defended her legacy. With Whitney's cover, she kept the publishing rights and built an empire with the royalties. Even with Miley, Dolly balanced public support with private guidance, knowing exactly when to step back and when to reconnect. The Trio project showed how she could navigate creative differences while preserving relationships. These stories collectively reveal a woman who understands power doesn't always mean wielding a sword. Sometimes it's knowing when to smile, when to step back, and when to make the chess move no one sees coming. Which of Dolly's responses do you find most admirable? Was it her quiet dignity with the young country star? Her business savvy with "I will always love you"? Or perhaps how she handled creative differences with fellow legends? Share your thoughts below. Dolly's 6 decades in entertainment offer countless lessons in handling conflict with grace. She's proven that true strength isn't about never getting hurt. It's about turning those wounds into wisdom. The country queen isn't just adorned with diamonds, she's made of them. Formed under pressure, cut with precision, unbreakable.